waiting. Will you join me?
I realised my mic was still muted. I thought I unmuted and turned out it remuted. Well done, Phil. Anyway, hello and welcome to Star Laws. My name's Phil, of course. I'm joined as usual by Robin, and this time, for the first time on Star Laws, I get to say and absent because we are absent from Matt tonight. Just for personal reasons, he's not be able to join us. However, hello, Robin.
Hello. I wasn't sure if that was my phone being a bit weird.
No,
I good to know it's your problem, not my problem.
Yeah, it was me this time. It was me trying to unmute my microphone and accidentally remuting it. So, of course, we come back and, of course, it's silent from me. So, everyone who will be listening back to the audio.
I can touch it because when that thing pops up, it automatically mutes it.
Yeah, that's what I did. Then I unmuted it. I think I then accidentally remuted it instead. But it is what it is.
Not that late.
Yeah, we're not that late, Dave. Like, seriously, like, we're not that bad. But yes.
It used to be a lot later.
Yes, in my personal life, I'm a lot later than this. I'm usually 15 minutes late. Oh, yeah, true, yeah. But again, that's probably partly my fault anyway, all the time. But it is what it is. However, tonight is going to be a good one. So, last week, of course, we had the trailer drop for Season 2 of The Mandalorian. It's only taken, I don't know, far too long, because, of course, Mandalorian streamed October 30th, and we finally have a trailer. Like, two... Yeah, well, exactly. Of course, in our last episode, we were talking about the Entertainment Weekly article, all the pictures they put up, and we were going, cool, have a little look through. We had our fun bit where Matt couldn't see any of the pictures, so we had to watch our stream and kind of catch up for 30 seconds afterwards, which was just pure brilliance from us. Again, if you haven't watched the video back, go back and find it on our channel. You can. And, of course, the audios will be sourced out sooner rather than later. There's just a few things going on personally, which means I haven't had the chance yet to crack on with that, but that will be done. I do promise you. We're working on some fun stuff behind the scenes, including a Discord channel and everything else. So pay attention to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Star Laws Podcast, at Star Laws Pod, at Star Laws 2020 on Insta, and you will be able to find out information as and when we release it. But we're going to talk about The Mandalorian today. We're going to talk about the trailer, and I'm going to try something that we've done before, back in Wars of the Force days. I haven't done it myself personally here as Star Wars. However, we're now going to sit... Sorry?
I said, if it breaks, blame Phil.
Oh, yeah. Oh, naturally. Yeah, of course. So, yeah, it breaks, blame me. But we're actually going to sit and watch the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, and we're going to break it down and talk about what we see, what we want to see in the show coming up, and everything else. But for now, I'm going to stop prattling on, because I'm good at that, and just play the video. We have to, of course, talk over it to stop the whole copyright thing. It's fair use. Indeed. But for now, yeah, I want to know what the hell's caused this as well. I mean, it actually was a very similar thing in the first season as well. I think the first trailer had a bit of a broken down Razor Crest. And I want to know what that planet is. I really want to know what that planet is, where he's going to. I think it's going from. I mean,
who knows?
But you can't help it.
I mean, this is Nar Shaddaa, surely.
It could well be. There's an interesting Easter egg I want to talk to you about when we go back through it.
Also, it's funny there because the lip sync of the Bantha matches the first line of Mando, so it looks like the Bantha's talking. Great.
More baby.
With all the.
And this is going to be the interesting point.
Yeah. See, I have a theory about that we'll get into in a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's fun just to see Quarrens and Mon Cala just milling about. And an
actual boat.
Actual proper boat in Star Wars. And X-Wings. And clouds.
T-65s.
Back on Tatooine. More foldy wings.
The problem is you can't help but stop and talk because, well, it's just so good.
Yeah. And a kind of boxing ring in Star Wars as well. It's an underground fight club.
This bit's best thing ever.
Nope. Baby Yoda just noking out with it.
Oh.
Now, when you're not listening to it, this bit just seems weird.
A little.
But this is the way. Do you like the new logo?
Yeah, the new logo is pretty damn cool. Okay, so I'm going to remove it from the stream now just to just to get things back to normal for a few bits. But yes,
Almost.
so we had that drop on us this time. Well, yeah, for us this time last week. We weren't able to jump on there. We've jump on now. Where do you want to start on this one?
We might as well start at the beginning because there's too much stuff. We might as well just go from the beginning.
Indeed. I'm just going to use our screenshots.
But first,
go on.
the thing is, like, obviously in the first trailer, we had a lot of shots that had Baby Yoda or his pod in it that obviously got removed.
Yes.
So what have they removed in this trailer? /
Or what have they added?
Exactly. Because, again, I have a couple of theories. The first one kind of stems from the beginning with the planets.
Yep.
That potentially the planet they're going to, could potentially be Yavin 4, and the big planet is the gas giant Yavin. They've just recolored it because obviously Yavin is red, not kind of Jupiter-like actually. So that could potentially be Yavin he's going to. Because again, this kind of fits in with my theory that I think I said about last week or the week before or whatever.
I think we kind of touched on it, but I know you and I have discussed it at length in the past 2 weeks since then. So you might as well just say your theory from the start, because I'm starting to believe it.
Yeah, after this trailer, I'm starting to believe it more as well. So my theory is that, because obviously we know Mando's trying to find the enemy sorcerers, being the Jedi. So my theory is he's trying to find Luke Skywalker, and he's going back, like, he's on the trail to him, going back to different planets where, like, there's been sightings of Luke. So if this could potentially be Yavin 4, which obviously we know Luke was at, we're going back to Tatooine again. Luke was born there. Well, he wasn't born there, but he grew up there. The ice planet could potentially be Hoth or Ilum, but again, we'll get to that. The clouds, I think, is Bespin, and potentially one of the things they've removed is seeing Cloud City in the background, maybe.
Yep.
And yeah, my theory is he's trying to find Luke, and he's going to all these different planets where he's seen Luke to, like, go on the next step to find him. I realize it's a bit similar to Rise of Skywalker, but in the end, Luke's not hiding at this point. But it's just theory that after watching this trailer, I'm starting to believe more and more.
And to be fair, at this point, we know that Star Wars likes to retread plot lines, sadly. But I mean, for me personally, where do we
finding Luke? So
exactly. Though to be fair, if this then gives us Luke's Jedi Academy, then I am all for it. I mean,
we could see a young Ben Solo.
That would be so cool.
Hold on. So this is 9 ABY. Actually, no.
No, because he was only sent off just before Bloodline, and Bloodline is set 15 ABY.
Yeah, because he was about 8, 9 when they sent him off to the academy. So yeah, so he's probably about 4 years old. So he probably won't be at the academy.
Yeah.
He's still got pop up.
Indeed,
like, indeed. Like when we meet Luke, he's on a hologram talking to Han or something with baby Ben.
Indeed. We know what can happen in terms of looking at The Last Jedi, when Luke was returned to kind of the last time Ben saw him state, of course, the short hair, no scraggly beard and long hair kind of thing. So you never know. It could be done. But let's just go from the beginning. We're going to talk about, first off, as I know you were just alluding to the planets there. But yes, that's the thing I want to talk about first, is also the fact that this, of course, being another model shot, one of those incredible shots that started off just as a little bit in a garage to see what they could do. They wanted a little kind of a side thing. It ended up being so good they put it back in. But yeah, damaged Razor Crest. Where, why, and how?
I mean, I'm guessing it gets shot by something.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like some of the Remnant tracking him down. Because obviously Gideon wants Baby Yoda, probably because he's part of the Sith thing to bring back Palpatine. But again, another theory of mine. That's in season 1. Gideon is trying to get Baby Yoda. Because obviously we saw the cloner dude in the first couple of episodes.
Yep.
So I reckon they're trying to use, like, they want Baby Yoda's DNA to, like, try and create a clone body that can contain the Force, maybe?
Yes, because of course, Rey's father, spoiler alert if you haven't seen episode 9, is a failed clone of Palpatine. A successful clone, but couldn't contain the Force.
If you haven't seen episode 9, that's a spoiler if you haven't read the novelization to know that little bit of information about episode 9.
Yes, it's wishy-washy of what is and what isn't in the book versus the film. But the more the point, we know that there is a successful clone that couldn't contain his essence, basically. So we know at this point they're getting close to having the body done. It's just containing that Force Ethos. So it's that Force Essence that we know that he needs to come back and be the Sith Eternal Emperor. So it'll be interesting to see if that is the case. And I do think the cloner from that symbol from Kamino and everything is definitely something they'll bring back. That was not.
I mean,
accidental.
they would not have put the Kamino symbol on his arm if he wasn't a cloner.
Exactly. This is not accidental. This is very much a seed for a future plot line.
It's definitely there on purpose.
Exactly. And I think we'll see. I don't think we'll see the end game for that in season 2, but I think we'll be later on. Now, of course, Giancarlo Esposito did come out this week and say that Mando is going to be at least 4 seasons long. Yeah. So,
but again,
I take
that whole arc of 4 seasons is about Yoda. Maybe it could be like 2, 3, and then like another one it goes off in a different direction.
I mean, I take it with a grain of salt anyway, in terms of how long it's going to be, because of course when it came down to Resistance was announced as just 2 seasons anyway, pretty much straight out the gates. Rebels, we knew had a finite timeline, so they don't really tend to give us much. But I'm interested to see if it is going to be confirmed with that one. This is an interesting point from David. Could we hear about Snoke during the season?
Potentially. Well, because Snoke was basically created to turn Ben Solo, who was only 4 at the time of this, so maybe not yet. We might hear inklings of like the potential Snoke project thing, maybe. I doubt we'll actually get a Snoke name drop or proper reference, considering he probably won't have been created.
Now, I have a feeling that we will get a name drop or 2, but I don't agree. I don't think we'll see him, but I think we'll get references, and I think as the seasons progress, that may increase, especially as the First Order becomes
like the sequel trilogy timeline, probably. Or, well, basically, when Ben's old enough to be turned, potentially might have name drops.
Yeah, I mean,
again, that'll be quite far in the future.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we know that it's, as I said, in Bloodline, you get the very first inklings of the First Order, you find their origin. For those of you who haven't read the book Bloodline, though, I highly recommend it. It's probably my favourite Star Wars books ever written.
You also get, like, the very, very first inklings of the First Order in Aftermath.
You do indeed. So, one of the Emperor's projects at the end could be something to do with Snoke in terms of those name drops and build up the First Order and things. So we'll get to find out. But there's a very good question there, Dave. And I do think that potentially, maybe towards the end of season 2, maybe when we find out more about Moff Gideon, we may hear more. But I think for now, it'll be little drips and little drabs. But I think building up as time goes along, as soon as they're getting closer to getting Baby Yoda, they're getting closer to the Final Order and things like that. It's going to be interesting. Now, we're going to jump ahead, purely because Dave's put another comment that you and I were talking about just before we came on air, which of course is, if the snow planet is Ilum, aka Starkiller Base, I think we'll see the start of the First Order there.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go forward on this one, Robin, as I bring up the picture you and I were discussing earlier.
Right, so, with Ilum, now, spoilers ahead if you haven't played or know about the Jedi Fallen Order game. So, sorry if I'm about to spoil things for that game, but it's been out nearly a year now. So, obviously, in that game, you go to Ilum, and you see it from space, and it's already, and obviously Jedi Fallen Order is set like 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, I think, like pre episode 4 anyway, and like long time before this. It's basically already looking Starkiller, because you see it from space, and it's already got the massive trench around the side of it. So potentially it still could be, and it's a different part of the planet, because when you see him walk into that ice cave, it did remind me of when you go into it in the game. It's like, this is looking a bit similar to in the game, but I mean
it's an interesting point, because when we had the first trailers for episode 9, we were talking about the ocean planet potentially being something to do with Endor, and of course we found out this was the ocean moon of Endor, not the forest moon. Of course, different part. Exactly. So it's a different part of it, but it's the same era or same area of space. Sorry, with Ilum again, as you just said, this could be a different part of Ilum to what you see in Starkiller, but it could very much be Ilum. And I think that'd be a nice tie-in, not only for the game, not only for the comics, not only for the books, but I think for the films as well. It'd be a nice, because the cool thing with Star Wars compared to, like, I'm going to bring up the MCU here, as would if Matt was here, obviously, because he does bring in outside bits. But an interesting comparison, of course, is when you have things like the MCU or DCEU or things like where they have things. They try and tie things together here and there. And I know DC is a little less stringent on this, but MCU likes to put little connections in their shows and in their films. But with Star Wars, when it comes to the books and to the comics and stuff, for example, one of the characters we were talking about last time out when we were discussing our shows about the Disney Plus is Admiral Ray Sloane. Sloane's appeared in A New Dawn. She's appeared in the Kanan comics. She's appeared in Aftermath. So this is
connecting in quite a few others as well.
Exactly, and this is a point when you get to Battlefront 2, when you play the Battle of Jakku, you get Sloane's name dropped in that, but also says Phantom Squadron, which includes Wedge and Temin. Again, you find that out from Aftermath. So they like to tie things together very well. The films, of course, has been it's a different point with Skywalker Saga, but I do think going forward with New Trilogy and stuff, they could tie in things more and more. But I would like to see this be Ilum for that particular point of tying everything together. And of course, if he's hunting down Luke's trail,
or just
also
hunting down the Jedi in general, Ilum is a great place to go.
Exactly.
Also, the Empire won't be, but it depends at what point the First Order or whatever took over Ilum.
Yeah,
because obviously it was annexed by the Empire pretty much straight away. Like as soon as the Emperor became the Emperor, like go to Ilum and annex that place because we need to harvest that planet. So, and also we don't know at what point Ilum became Starkiller.
Yeah,
and like because timeline wise, the last point I know of Ilum is in Fallen Order. No, yes, it's Fallen Order.
Well, okay, I'm gonna go in here and with a spoiler alert myself for Resistance, because you do see Ilum in Resistance, and again, it's the First Order are there at this point. It's again talking about that when exactly.
But Resistance is like very close to episode 7, isn't it? Though.
Correct. Yeah, literally, you have a crossover in season 1 at the end between 7 and Resistance.
Yeah, so obviously that's like nearly 30 years after.
Yes.
Mando.
However, you could then start to see those tie-ins if this is Ilum of maybe pinpointing when the First Order first got their growing mitts on Ilum as opposed to the New Republic. Because this could be to do with the New Republic and comparatively to the Empire and the First Order.
Yeah, but the theory that's just formed, if this is Ilum, maybe that is how the Razor Crest gets destroyed, because he had to go to Ilum and he got shot and he got attacked leaving Ilum.
Yeah,
and it's like him after Ilum, and he's going to like the closest place he could get to or whatever.
Yeah,
but the Razor Crest does look a bit damaged there.
Just a little bit.
Again, maybe the planet we see in the first shot is Ilum, and they've just changed it in the trailer.
Indeed. Although, to be fair, this really doesn't look too much like the Razor Crest, considering that is the Razor Crest. So that is a completely different coloration. That's a completely different ship.
Maybe the Razor Crest actually gets destroyed and he has to get a new ship. Because we only see the Razor Crest, that first shot destroyed, and then with the X-Wing.
We'll come to the X-Wing in just a second, because I'm just going to bring up Dave being awesome here, commenting along. As anyone wants to leave a comment, please do read it out, and we'll quite happily discuss anything either here or on Facebook, wherever you want to put it. But Dave here saying it makes sense for Mando's travel rumored places recently which have Jedi activity, because surely he will hear about the legend of Luke Skywalker.
Exactly. And it's not that strange he doesn't know what the Jedi were, considering they're very much myths. Even when they were at the height of their powers, a lot of people didn't even believe in the Jedi. And then when the Empire took over, and he basically said they're all traitors and stuff, and they tried to just wash them away from history, because a lot of people didn't know what Jedi were.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So Dave, of course, then is saying here, still find it strange you had no idea what a Jedi was. If you read any of the novels set after Episode 3, you see the Empire expunging everything. you see them as when they built. Don't forget when they built the Death Star, they virus bombed the whole planet of Geonosis just to rid the entire planet of a race that basically no one really could understand because he didn't want them finding out that he was building the Death Star. When it comes down to authoritarian dictatorships and regimes, both in the real world and fantasy world, one of the first things they will do is expunge all information that is counter to what they say and what they believe. They will basically, yeah, exactly. History is written by the winners, and in this particular point, they want to go, no, we are the Empire goes, we are the good guys. We are here for you. When of course we know it's a lot more sinister than that. And of course, it was actually the new hunted promotional little film for Star Wars Squadrons. Again, from that point of view of the Empire going, oh, we the bad guys and all this, because yes, they are. So when you talk about them finding it strange that they had no idea the Jedi was, it's at this point you're talking 33 years since 36 years, sorry, since Order 66. That's an entire generation who won't know. And yes, he was brought up in the Clone Wars, but
about 20. Got your maths now. It's only about 28. Because Revenge of the Sith was 19 years before Episode 4. I was 19 ABY, so it's 28.
Yeah, 28 years. So yeah, okay, so that's still 28 years. Okay, so actually, you and I are 29 years old, for example. We've lived long enough not to know our history, study things, of course, but if you don't know about it, you don't know about it. If your parents aren't around to tell you about the tales of the Jedi because they've been expunged, well, you're not going to know. And of course, you don't want the galaxy having hope. That's the entire point of the Empire eradicating them.
Also, the Star Wars universe is quite massive. There's like millions of planets and stuff. You know, not and like the Outer Rim, like they don't really get much news or anything. Like it's only like the closer you get to the core and Coruscant.
And don't forget, with the Clone Wars, there was only 10,000 Jedi at that point. Only 10,000. When you've got battles raging all around the galaxy, when you have an entire legion commanded by one Jedi, you're not really going to see them.
Who, if you're lucky?
Well, unlucky, depending on your point of view.
Yeah.
But certainly... Well, you know I don't. You know I have my problems with the Separatists, damn it.
You love those clankers.
It's more hello there, but you know, we'll get there. But that's another point for another day. I want to continue to talk about this because the next bit I want to talk about is
X-Wings,
T-65s, but it's more the point of, well, we saw, of course, in season 1,
Director Squadron.
Yes, Director Squadron. Yeah,
Squadron. That's my turn.
Copyright Robin there. Yes. Anyone else to use it? No, you have to pay us. It'd be great. No.
Yeah.
Of course, he alerted the New Republic to the presence of what's the name of the station?
I can't remember, but they literally just stole the beacon and put it on douchebag's space station that they blew up. Exactly. I mean, they didn't technically know about the prison ship. They were just following the beacon.
No, but he has been more inclined to, when he talks about the New Republic, to go, well, you know, rather take it to the New Republic than actually go behind the back. It's interesting to see how they work with them. And of course, as you say, those clouds could be Cloud City, could be Bespin. If he wants to go and hunt down, so go and find the Jedi, eventually he'll have to go to the New Republic because, well, Luke.
And Leia.
And Leia, yes, but at this point, not many people in the galaxy know about Leia being a Jedi. The Legend of Luke Skywalker, different.
I mean, we didn't know until Rise of Skywalker.
Well, actually, we kind of had an inkling from The Last Jedi.
Well, obviously we knew we had the Force, but not that she actually started to train as a Jedi, is what I meant.
Bloodline.
We've known Leia's had the Force since Empire Strikes Back.
True, but actually, you've known she's been trained as a Jedi if you've read Bloodline. But again, highly recommend that book.
Going back to Cloud City.
Exactly. So,
but I mean, those clouds.
And it's appropriate for the 40th anniversary of Empire.
Exactly, they're going back to Bespin.
Although I really should change this up to the Empire at this point instead of being a New Hope.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. Anyway,
I love this artwork though.
It's cool. But yeah, the clouds just look like when we first see Bespin in Empire.
Indeed.
Like when you see the Rose Crest and the two X-Wings just flying through, or it kind of looks like the X-Wings are chasing the Razor Crest. But
It
again, they could have changed it in post to hide things.
Although, to be fair,
That's
if
why
in
they-
X we get then the Razor Crest being allowed to be flying with the Rebel Alliance or the Resistance, that'd be quite funny. Right, moving on from the Republic and Resistance to Scum and Villainy, funny enough, I want to talk a little bit about this. I was a little bit what could either be Nar Shaddaa, Nal Hutta, or depending on where it is at this point, Tatooine. But I know you've also got your own theories, so let you start off with this.
It could very well be.
I mean, this definitely could be a point. Dave saying so it's Mando who really takes the lightsaber to Maz. I mean, it really could be. That would be a very interesting point. I'd quite like to see that.
Although she probably has it by now. Who knows?
It's a good story for another time that we never got. But anyway, not the point. We're here talking about Mando, not Maz, at the moment. As I want to talk about this, I want to talk about what planet this could potentially be.
I mean, I'm saying Nar Shaddaa. Until the episode airs and proves me wrong, it's Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to let you continue waffling just a little bit, so I'm just going to try and find a certain point in the trailer for me to bring up.
So yeah, I don't know why. I just saw it and it's like, is that Nar Shaddaa? Because it seems seedy and grimy and very much like Nar Shaddaa was described and seen in like previous Legends comics and books. But it could be anywhere really. It could even be a place on Coruscant. I mean, that's less likely, but it could. I've seen it said that it could also be Lothal. Because if the rumors are true about Sabine and Ahsoka being in this, then, and also he's trying to find Jedi, and there's a Jedi temple on Lothal. He could be going there. Maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
that just screams to me Nar Shaddaa.
Now, there's an interesting point. I can't bring it up personally at the moment just because I didn't get the screenshot, but there's a little Easter egg hiding in here. For those of you who haven't had the time, I'm going to pause what I say just for a couple of seconds for people to go and find this. And now, if you look very closely, I think it's about here. Now, there is actually...
I cannot see that.
Right, yeah. There's actually Boba Fett's prototype helmet.
Seriously?
Yes. You look at the mirror on the wall. There's
I'm on my phone, Phil. I really cannot see that.
No, we'll talk about this afterwards. So I'll screenshot it and zoom it and all that kind of stuff.
Hey, hold on. Carry on.
Yes, so I think this. Lothal would be a good shout, but I think Nal Hutta or Nar Shaddaa. This isn't Tatooine. This is not Tatooine by far.
Oh, definitely not Tatooine. It doesn't look hot enough. And not sandy enough.
I was about to say more from the architecture point. This looks more.
And there's that too.
Built up. I mean, literally from purely aesthetic point of view, as we know from the Star Wars universe, this does not look like what we've seen from Tatooine before. Now, I could be wrong, but Mos Eisley, of course, is the largest city on Tatooine, and it looks nothing like this. This is much
also
more...
the sand. There's literally, as Anakin said, there's sand everywhere.
Yeah, and I completely agree. It's coarse, it's rough.
There's no sand. There's not much sand there.
No, so Lothal, Nal Hutta, or Nar Shaddaa. Now, I think Nal Hutta is a lot more of an outlier. I think that would be purely just based on the old Legends versus new canon. Rest of it, Nal Hutta is one of those grey areas that I don't know if they'll touch.
Let's see a hut.
Now,
well, no, because now I keep forgetting. Was it Nal Hutta they went to in Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Where they were chasing Darth Vader, right?
Yes. Yeah, so actually, there's more Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, I thought so.
I was thinking Nar Shaddaa had one around the head.
Yeah.
Yes, they were Nal Hutta.
Yeah, it's
but
an interesting play.
Lothal could be a very interesting point because, of course, it was more built up. He had the Empire presence, and of course, there's also a Jedi Temple there. We know of Ezra, so if he's hunting down Luke and finding the Jedi, well, at this point, Ezra will definitely have been a legend passed down. If you have Ahsoka and Sabine,
I don't think Ezra was really a legend that was passed around.
No, if he meets Ahsoka and Sabine.
That's why I've seen it said that it could be Lothal if Sabine is indeed in this trailer.
Exactly. Now I'm just going to move this part from the screen. And I will indeed bring up our next talking point, talking about Sabine. I'm going to talk about this particular screenshot here. Now, this scene here is one that I had to have quite a few discussions with people immediately, because everyone who saw the trailer immediately messages me going, it's Ahsoka, it's Ahsoka, it's Ahsoka.
Well, that's definitely not Ahsoka, because where are the because that's I mean, A, she's not orange. B, she doesn't have the white markings on her face. And C, and the most egregious thing is, where are her? Do you call them Leku? I forget.
It's a single Leku, yes. The horns are, I can't remember what the first.
Oh yeah, the Montrails.
Montrails, yeah.
I keep forgetting if Leku was Twi'leks only. Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, that's not a Togruta, so that's not Ahsoka.
No,
but again, this does bring up another theory of mine, and that could, in the actual episodes, that could be Ahsoka, and they've just replaced her in the trailer, or it could be Sabine and replaced in the trailer, or it could be Sabine anyway.
I think Sabine. Now, of course, so the person's birthday. This is Sasha Banks. She is a pro wrestler for WWE. That is all I know. It's not a special subject of mine in any way, shape, or form. I do know the name, but I don't know who she is. That's by the by. That's not really the point. This is the actress. Basically, we can confirm who is this person in the trailer. Character-wise, though, I think Sabine. We've had a few discussions. Actually, George and Dave and myself had a few discussions. I thought they could necessarily bring back Tia Sakar to play Sabine in live action, but from further discussion, I do actually think this could be very much be Sabine. And of course, a very much talking point to Mando's taking their helmets off, of course, with the whole discussion around Pedro Pascal at the moment. Interesting. Robin, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, she could be anyone. She could be a villain for all we know. Again, because of them, she could be a bad hunter. But like them changing things from the first series trailer of like removing the child and stuff, who knows what they've added and removed. I mean, I saw somewhere someone say that she's a Night Sister, which obviously isn't true, because totally, again, Night Sisters have white faces and stuff. But again, they could have digitally removed that to hide the fact she's a Night Sister.
Well, the Night Sisters have been like dead for like 20 years at this point.
Well, you say that again. Fallen Order spoilers.
Well, no, you could have definitely. I don't think the Night Sisters are still alive. So fair play.
I mean, there's only one of them, but
yeah,
I can't see it being them. But yeah, she could literally be anyone. But again, they could have just popped her in there to hide who it really is. Because of what they did with the child for the first season trailers, I don't trust these trailers.
It makes you double take, but I do more think this is not a red herring. I think this is very much up and down. This is a character. Whether it's Sabine or not is yet to be seen, but I do think this is very much certainly someone. This is,
Well, it's definitely someone.
You know what I mean? That they're not going to, they may not change that particular part. Now, we don't know for the rest of it. We'll see, of course. And speaking of sea, let's just talk about the boat.
There's a real boat.
There's an actual boat in Star Wars.
An actual proper boat. One of my favourite shots in this trailer, and I don't know if you got a screenshot of it, is literally just seeing Mando and the child just at the bow of a ship.
I mean, I've only got this part of it.
Yeah, the bit just before that. Yeah, where you just see them standing on the bow of a ship heading for a new land.
I can try and bring it up whilst you have a little talk.
Yeah, it's just there's a boat in Star Wars. I mean, we've seen a couple before, but this is like just an actual proper boat, not like a little catamaran thing that we saw in episode 2. Also, it looks to be like a fishing trawler as well, because you see I think it's a Quarren just like in waders and looking like very much like a fisherman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's like book passages on a fishing trawler in Star Wars.
Now, what planet do you think it's on? That's the question.
I mean, considering at the port you see Quarren and Mon Calamari, could be Mon Cala.
It could well be, but we both know Mon Cala has been pretty much decimated at this point.
Well, no, this is 9 ABY.
Yes, the Empire.
They've had some wars, but they haven't been that decimated.
Okay, true. This is
like a lot later.
Of course, yes.
Exactly. You forget this is very close to episode 6.
I mean, that's pretty much that one. I know what you mean. It's still me trying to find it. Where is it?
It's before that, I think.
No, it's
Almost there.
there. We go.
That shot. Just seeing them on a boat. An honest to goodness boat.
It is pretty cool. But again, it could be Mon Cala. It really could be. Again, Mon Cala too.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's the Death Mon Cala, the scene on the shore. A lot of.
I mean, yeah, there is non-Cal because he's probably not in this. Hey, Cal Kestis could turn up.
Sorry, Dave corrected himself, but unfortunately we got there first.
He did. Actually,
Although I do have to talk about this. The volume is so impressive that they can bring this into it. Yeah, the volume is. This is the thing now with Star Wars with the Mandalorian. You go, cool. Which of this is actual location? Which of this is real, and which of this is the volume? Because no matter what way, it is just stunning.
I mean, most of it's the volume. Actually, to be fair, we can definitely tell when it's the volume if they're in space.
Okay, that's true.
And most likely all these scenes on, let's just call it Mon Cala.
Indeed. So Mon Cala again. Mon Cala is a place where Luke has visited.
Yeah, in one of the comics, wasn't it?
Yes, this is the War for Mon Cala in the. It's in the Star Wars main arc. I think it's like issue 30 plus, something around that area.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, before
not everything is probably him trying to find Luke. True, but
again, though, it's to do with that. But also, though, on that particular point, though,
you could need to go to Mon Cala for something.
Star Wars Allegiance. Yeah, go read that, and then you'll find out what I'm talking about with the First Order Scorched Earth policy, because that is just
it's Operation Cinder 2.0.
It is a heavy story.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I had to really do with episode 9 by the end of it, but
they had all the path to episode 9 stuff and then totally ignored it, because reading Resistance Reborn is like, oh cool, this is going to turn up in episode 9. I mean, one thing did, but for like 2 seconds.
However, going from the First Order back to the Empire.
Yes, more folding wings. I think they're called Outriders.
Outlanders.
I think it's Outrider. Huh?
Outlander.
Outlander, that's it.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that a Jeep?
Yes, fine enough it is.
Hey, these are the class Jeeps.
I mean, yes. So these are Tylen Outlanders. They are.
Now we know that Lockheed Inns wasn't there anymore.
This is correct. I think actually, to be fair, this particular point is like they have this on a T-shirt. I think someone's leaked it back in when Series 1 was just coming out. So I'm interested to see if they do finally release that piece of merchandise. And I'd like the look of a tie with a cannon, because that very much looks like it's got a cannon like underneath it.
A little bit actually, yeah. Although it kind of also could be a camera, because it kind of looks like a camera they put on the bottom of drones.
Now, this, of course, is interesting about the Imperial Remnants, the New Republic again. It could actually be how Mando gets caught up with the New Republic, if he gets caught between the New Republic and hunting down the Imperial Remnants. Although, since Matt is not here, we're going to have to do the talking for him about the Scout Troopers.
Yeah. To be fair, that specific screenshot you got, it does look, and again, because Matt loves these so much, it generally looks like a promotional picture for a Hot Toys.
I mean, you and I are going to get our own at some point.
Yeah, but that does look like a thing for a Hot Toys.
It does. I mean, my plans were slightly kibosh, but you are guessing, of course, Mando and Baby Yoda.
Yeah. But again, talking about this bit where they like fly off the platform onto this planet. Again, no idea. Yeah, no idea what planet it is. But again, it reminds me of, I forget what planet it was in Fallen Order, because there's like an Imperial thing you have to infiltrate, and I forget which planet it was. But that very much did look like one of the landing bits. I'm fairly sure it's totally different, but it reminded me of that.
I can't help on this because I still haven't played the game, of course. Like,
and I cannot remember the planet was. But it looked like that, so it's probably like some refining planet. The Empire, well, the Remnant is still on.
Yeah, wanting to get their coaxium hyperfield, try and get them to the beyond the Outer Rim, into the unknown regions.
Or something else they need it for.
However, again, badass shot. And of course, before this, I haven't got it on the screen. I'll quickly find it on the trailer, which is very hard when it's sat on my monitor behind my laptop, so I'm trying to look through my laptop, which doesn't help, which is why I had to get Robin to prattle on.
Wait, you don't have X-ray vision?
No, I do not.
Oh, hold on.
I don't even have very good vision, let alone X-ray vision.
Oh, it could be Navarro. Because I've just remembered, like, because the shot we see of Mando blasting off,
Yeah.
it does look a bit like the volcano flats they were in episode 8 of season 1.
Let me just go ahead. And...
Honestly, we know we're going back to Navarro because we see Cara Dune and what's his chops? Greybeard. That's the one.
Cargo. Yeah.
Yeah, so it could be that.
Yeah. It could well be. And to be fair, on that particular point, if I just scrub back slightly, of course, though, I want to talk about.
On the bridge of the corridors of a Star Destroyer.
Yep, because you do have Moff Gideon now piloting something that's bigger.
Or potentially not a Star Destroyer. It could be something like a Gazanti Cruiser or something. Because all we know is Gideon is flying something larger than his TIE Fighter. We assume it's a Star Destroyer, but it could be a different type of large Imperial vessel. But it's going to be a Star Destroyer.
So are you going to look at the speed of effects rocket pack on the back? Yes, we'll try and find that. We'll get to that point in just a second, because yes, of course, this is this is Navarro. This looks more like Tatooine than Navarro.
I mean, those pillars look like the pillars we first see in. Yeah, but also the last time we saw them were on Navarro. I doubt they would have left. Because like Grief was like, yeah, we're gonna try and fix this. That's cloud fitted. Well, that's best bit.
Yeah.
Again, until proven otherwise, that's best bit.
Yeah, so I'm just doing it on screen because it's a lot easier than looking through my laptop. I realise this is just highly unproductive. But where's the... It is...
I'm guessing it's the shot on Tatooine. Where you see the speed bike.
It could well be. I'm just trying to find it. It's not that one. Because, of course, he does have his lovely jetpack in there.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as he saw the Rocketeer blasting off and said, I need to get one of those, like, so he's getting a jetpack at the end of the season. No, it's long before that, because that's the end of the trailer.
Yeah, it is. It's
before or after Monclar?
It's before.
Should we just watch the trailer again and just pause it at the right moment?
You know what? Then let's do that. Why not? Let's just...
Yeah, let's just watch it again.
Yeah. Although I'm going to...
No, the Shard of the Broken Ship. I mean, the end of the system. It can't be good with the cargo door flapping open in the vacuum of space like that. There must be all sorts of blaring things going off in Mando's head there.
Oh,
I just suddenly want to go...
Yeah, little area Morricone would go on this.
And the Talking Bantha.
I just wonder what that ship is.
Yeah. And she's gone. What was that? I don't know. I'm just gonna riff this now.
So
Yeah.
that'd be the speed of there, yes.
But can you get a clear shot? Said the
Let's-
sniper to his victim.
Let's find out. Because should be able to get it nice. It's gonna be hard, but I'm going.
It's gonna be a tricky one, yeah.
Close. Ah, too far.
Just very
There we
quickly
go.
press play and pause.
There we go. So that's about as close as I'm gonna get it.
Very difficult to see this on my phone.
It is, but yes, you can hit to see.
Don't worry,
here.
I've now got the trailer on my TV right next to me. I'm just waiting for it to catch up to that bit so I can pause it to look on my telly to see the jetpack.
Fair play. But yes,
Wait, I'm literally just watching the trailer out the corner of my eye now. Oh, there it is. Hold on. No, that's still on such a short trailer.
Of course, Star Wars, the height of technology here.
Yeah, this is dedication to breaking down this trailer.
Yep. So Dave has sent it across.
Yeah, boat, ships.
I mean, you should know the difference at this point.
Oh, I mean, it's very difficult to see. I mean, it could be the rocket back, but again, it could be just a broken speeder.
Dave, being the awesome legend that he is, has sent me
stop pressing
an image.
Button.
Right. I'm going to
Let's get that.
Do this.
If it kills us.
Yep. Well, so thanks to Dave, I do have the image.
To me, that just kind of looks like the back of a speeder. Because it's
because it is very similar to Fett's.
But obviously, it's missing it and the jet boosters.
Yeah,
but
it's an interesting point. It's an interesting find, Dave. I'm not sure at this point in time, but it could well be. And if the rumors are true for Tomorrow Morrison, you never know.
No, just be Rex.
Well,
Don't be
never
Boba
know.
Fett.
Find out. I don't want to be Boba Fett, but then again,
to be Boba Fett.
Matt's not here, so we can say this without Matt killing us for this. Because we don't want to be.
Just let him be at the bottom of the song.
I mean, Aftermath, done.
Yeah. I mean, the Sarlacc probably. I mean, it could be Boba Fett's jetpack, and Boba Fett's not coming back because the Sarlacc could have just spat out his armor.
It could well be.
His armor could be around, but he's not.
Well, that is if you end up reading Aftermath, you will find out that is the case. Someone has his armor, but it's not Fett.
I have read Aftermath.
I'm talking more to the audience at this point.
Oh.
I know you've read it, damn it.
Well, I don't know.
You'll catch
up. But I mean, yeah, it could be the broken jetpack of Boba Fett, or it could just be the back of a broken speeder, or it could be literally anything.
It could indeed. So that's the trailer in its entirety. I've watched it a few times now. I am very excited for this, of course. Now it's coming in
just over a month.
Time. Yeah, 5 weeks. Not long to wait. Of course, if anything else, for the first episode, yes. Although I feel bad for my friends in Sweden who have literally just got
that's just dumb.
I know.
Here's this show that we know you've already pirated and watched like 7 times, but here, have it weekly now, just in enough time for the second season to start.
Yeah, same with Clone Wars. We got it just before us. We're getting Clone Wars, so at least we got season 7.
I just don't understand it. It's like
we didn't even get all of season 7. We didn't even get all of season 7. We got half of season 7.
Yeah, but at least with that, we got caught up.
Yes.
But with Mando, we still got it episodically, even though we'd already watched it.
And I had already reviewed it.
Yeah. And, the whole massive reveal of episode 1 and then the entire series was already out. I had people at work who don't even like Star Wars, know nothing about it, yet they were talking about Baby Yoda. I was sat there going, don't even know what the hell that is.
Yeah.
So why didn't they just give it to them all at once? Like, the whole world knows about it. Just stop doing it. But anyway.
Exactly.
Not going to be the same for season 2.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We're looking forward to seeing what happens. Of course, we're going to talk amongst ourselves and find out if we, as and when we can, review each episode of The Mandalorian. It may just be you and I, Robin, who will talk to Matt and see what's what and what happens. We definitely will be looking at season 2 as it comes out, for sure. Maybe we feature some guests. We'll never know. We'll find out. But for now,
yes, get Patrick Pascal on here.
I mean, That'll be interesting. Although, to be fair, should we actually talk about what's the kind of news that's come out for Pedro Pascal? I'm intrigued to see your opinions on this because I think it's fake.
Well, here's the thing. Obviously, when he was offered the role and when he initially agreed to it, he was presumably told, yeah, your face is going to be covered by a helmet for the entire thing. And he agreed to that.
Yeah.
So him then to turn around and say, oh, I'm not happy with my face not being on screen enough, is like, this is kind of what you agreed to in the first place. So it's either fake. Exactly. So it's either fake or he's a bit of an idiot.
Yeah, it's one of those things at the moment. It's been kind of with what's happening with. We're not going to talk about what has been happening with Gina Carano. We talked about that a little bit on our last show. But with what's happening with that and with happening with Pedro Pascal and everything else, I think it's a little bit just drag it in through the rumor mill, drag it through the dirt wash they can because it's popular to kick Star Wars when it's down at the moment. We know people in real life who do that, and we're tired of it. I don't think this is real. I think this is false, but there's probably a little bit of grain of truth to it somewhere. Now, talk about the fact that he stopped filming halfway through season 2, was dismissed from set, and they've basically sprinkled him out a little bit further to enhance other characters' roles. I don't really believe that's going to be the case.
No, because if that was true, we probably would have heard about it a long time before now.
Yeah, we would have. Someone would have leaked it somehow, somewhere on set, and of course, with the announcement, the leak from Giancarlo Esposito saying it's going to be potentially 4 seasons. I also think that Favreau's not going to be that silly. Now, the rumor, of course, is that Pedro Pascal went to Lucasfilm over Favreau and Filoni's heads and asked them to talk to them on their behalf. But I think even Lucasfilm at that point would have gone, well, these are the creative behind it. We trust them. Look what they've created. Yeah. Don't mess with it. But I also think that going forward, that may stop being the case anyway, because they're going to address potentially why this particular sect keeps their helmets on. We know many
if the rumors are true and we're getting Sabine and Bo-Katan, who we know from Clone Wars and Rebels, they take their helmets off all the time. So if it is true they're in this, then they will address the whole "we don't remove our helmets" thing.
Don't get Imperial Mandos like Gar Saxon. Yeah,
I mean they were Imperial commandos, so that's probably slightly different. But
true, but then again, it took also Fenrir. Don't forget Fenrir.
Yeah, but again, it could just be that because obviously these were Mandalorians that were in hiding.
Yeah,
if you're a Mandalorian in hiding, it would make more sense to actually show your face because then no one will know you're a Mandalorian. But actually, that doesn't really make sense.
It's gonna be a particular sect thing, I believe. I think you'll find out the reason for it in season 2. Then I think in season 3 and 4 he'll take his helmet off more.
But essentially, considering again, spoilers for season 1 if you haven't seen it, but everyone in the world who's a Star Wars fan has seen it. I mean, him and the armor are the only ones we know of a sect that are still alive.
Yeah, that we know of. Yeah.
So it's the rest of them. Well, there's a lot that are dead. I mean, Pax Vizsla probably got away just so Favreau can have a voice again.
And to be fair, Heavy Weapons Mando, I'm more than happy to come back.
Pax Vizsla,
yeah,
just him and his massive Gatling gun.
You know what I'm like.
Yeah. So, he could be like, oh, but again, if his entire clan is dead, maybe that will make him less likely to take his helmet off. He's like, oh, I'm the only one left. I need to stick to this code.
Yeah. But if he ends up finding more of his own people, you never know. So it's an interesting point. We'll find out. So say you never know. You will find out. You'll find out probably in season 2 why, I think, going forward. I think it's a false, silly rumor to drag it through the dirt.
I can see the final scene of the final episode of season 2. It's just him with a group of people around him and him just taking his helmet off in front of them all.
Yeah, it could very well be the way. And we'll find out in, that'll be in 17 weeks' time.
So long. But the way this year's been going, it'll be like that. So.
Yeah. The other cool little thing I want to talk about before we end this show is, of course, this is our lovely season 1 artwork, but I want to talk about the season 2 because now we have Baby Yoda in it.
Yay! And it's
interesting. yeah, so cool. So season 1, this is very much because I want to say that's Tatooine in terms of the planet they've chosen for the background there.
Well, actually, no, it's not Tatooine. It's the planet, because that is pretty much the shot in episode 2 where I forget what planet it was where I actually found the child. But because again, that's one of the things that they changed in the trailer, because you should see the little egg next to him.
Yeah.
But so that's, I mean, yeah, it's very Tatooine, but that, I mean, that kind of looks a bit like it looks a bit watery, so it could be
that's more Mon Cala.
The water planet that is definitely Mon Cala.
Yeah. It could very well be. Although to be fair, I do wonder if when he goes back to where it goes to this could be Mon Cala, if the ice-ish, waterish planet we saw at the beginning of season 1, if that could be returning, that could have been Mon Cala in a way. I don't know. I don't know what the planet is that we see in episode 1.
I don't think it's actually named.
But
I mean, that was more frozen than watery.
This is very true. It's very true. So we'll see. We'll see. I think that's about it. We've gone through the trailer pretty extensively by now.
Although, just quickly, if that is Mon Cala, you can finally spend those Mon Cala credits you got in season 1 for the bounty.
This is very true. This is very true.
That's probably how he pays for the passage. He's like, oh, I've got these squid credits here. I haven't. Flan. That's it. Mon Cala flan.
What's going to copy? A couple of squid just to get across. Yeah.
Here's some flan. Have that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's Mon Cala, because of the currency from season 1.
Confirmed. For those of you who are for our audience members who are not British, of course, our currency is of course the pound sterling, but we all call it the quid. So nice little pun for the British, and everyone else is a simple explanation of why. But still, yes, we are children, and we like making puns, and we will never stop. But until then, I think. Oh yeah, exactly. You know what I like. But I think it's about it. Nothing really more I've got to say. Anything else you want to add to it, Robin?
Oh, actually, yes. There's a bit in the trailer I forgot about. When you see him Batmaning the dude on the lamppost.
Yes.
The graffiti behind him. Because there's 3 bits I've noticed. One of which is an interesting Easter egg if it is, and probably isn't, but it's my eye seeing it. You see what looks to be a snowtrooper. And then literally right above that, you see what looks to be a golden C-3PO protocol droid.
That's just.
And then on the wall next to it is what looks to be a classic series Cylon.
I think that's where you have the prototype Fett helmet and the graffiti there. I'm just trying to find the scene now so that I can bring it up.
See, that would make sense, it being there with the other graffiti. But again, that's why some people think that's Lothal, because of all the graffiti, and there's like graffiti on Lothal. I mean, it could just be Sabine just doing a lot of her graffiti. Yeah.
So yes, if you're on the right hand side there, that's where you'll find the graffiti. Yep.
And then just where your mouse is to the right a bit, like there, roughly there. Again, can't quite see on this tiny screen, but that's where you can see the snowtrooper and C-3PO.
Indeed. So for those of you who
I want to know what information he's trying to get out of the dude.
We'll find out, I guess. But we will. I'm interested to see what that will be. But I believe that is going to be it for this particular time out. Because those of you who want to go back and watch the trailer yourselves, pause it, have a look through, see what you think. Leave us a comment down below. Let me just bring up. So yeah, so you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the links in the description below and at the ticket at the moment. I think that's about it. We've gone through the trailer pretty extensively tonight. Had a good old hour-long chat about it. Of course, you and I have talked about this for a lot longer before that, and we'll continue to chat about it until season 1 comes out. Well, episode 1 comes out, sorry, for season 2. When we know more about our own personal schedules and things, we will get a review schedule sorted. We will be talking about it on the show. It may just be Rob and I, maybe Matt as well. It depends on how the 3 of us are able to do it and fit it into our lives. But we will sort it out somehow.
We'll be talking about season 2.
Exactly. But until then, any final words to add, Rob? Or I think we're all good.
This is the way.
This is the way indeed. So until next time, we've been Stars. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the links in the description below. So that's at the Star Wars Pod, at Star Wars Podcast, and at Star Wars 2020 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find us on, you will be able to find some Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and iTunes when I get everything set up. Of course, you can find us on our Facebook and YouTube pages here. So until next time, we've been Star Wars. May the Force be with you. Good night.
Bye.
Come, my allies. Observe. Look upon me. You